Hey Zwifters, welcome back to No Breakaways, your source for all the Zwift racing tips and tricks. Hope everybody had a great time in week 4 of the Zwift Racing League out in Wantopia on the Magnificent 8. This week, week 5, we're going to cover everything Bagel in New York. Let's get right to it. Here's a look at that Everything Bagel course in NYC. Very twisty, lots of chances for breakaways on this course. Here's the route profile, courtesy of Zwift Hub. As you can see, there are a couple longer climbs, but the entire course you're either going up and down. We will cover these in more detail when we get to the course ride. Again, just like in Richmond, there are intermediate points. First place gets 5 points through each of those banners, and 5th place gets 1. There are points at each of the banners, so getting to the top of that first KOM with the front pack is the only way you're going to have a chance for the other intermediate points throughout the course. Here we are, coming up on the start pens. You're going to come out of those pens, you're going to take a right, and you're going to go through this start-finish banner, which starts your lap. People are going to talk a lot about the KOMs, and it's true, they are going to be really hard. You have to remember, this entire course is up and down. So when you start to get to this glass skyway, you have to really prepare yourself for a lot of climbing. As you can see, the grade is already kicking up to 5% on this rise. There are going to be a lot of places for breakaways, so you need to keep your eyes open, and you need to make sure that you aren't drifting too far in the pack where some people can get away from you. The first climb you're going to go up is the KOM reverse. It is a tough climb, but it doesn't last that long. Let's take a look at it, and then we'll look at some of the expected times. You're going to come around this turn on the glass bridge, and you're going to see the start line for the New York KOM. However, that is not the start line for the reverse KOM. But when you look at that route profile, you will see that this is really the start of the climb, so this is where you're going to have to really get prepared. The actual climb is longer than the KOM is going to tell you. You take a right here to get to the reverse KOM. This is going to be one of the main selection points in the race. You absolutely have to do everything you can to stick with the pack over this first climb. There's a big super tuck afterwards where you can recoup some of your energy, but you need to go all out here to stay with whatever pack you're with. We'll watch this entire climb, we'll fast forward through it, and we'll talk again at the top about what the expected climb times are. Here we are at the top of the climb. Come on over, keep the power up for a little bit, and then you'll be able to get it into a super tuck. I do expect this to be a super fast climb, people going all out to try to blow this pack apart. Cat A men are probably going to be 230 to 235 at 6 watts per kg. The Cat A women, 245 to 3 minutes at 5 watts per kilogram. Cat B, 250 to 3 minutes. Cat C, 330 to 340. And Cat D, 420 to 440. There could be some variability in these times, especially in the lower categories, depending on how hard someone is trying to go to blow the pack apart. Here's another point. Coming up this hill into the sprint point, people are going to be going off the front, trying to get those intermediate sprint points at the arch up ahead. In races, this is always a tough little spot where people are trying to get away. This is going to be a place where there is going to be some attrition, and you will be able to ride people off the back if you want. Just as a note, when you come back through the arch, this is not a sprint point. This is just coming back through, going the opposite way. Here we are coming back to the glass road. As you can see, it tilts up. This is a really hard, long hill right here, and a place where some attrition can happen if someone's pushing it on the top. You either need to be making sure you're staying in the pack, or if you're trying to drop some people off your pack, really push it up this hill before the KOM. All right, here's the KOM forward. You see a couple steep grades there. It flattens out a little bit near the end and then kicks back up. Let's take a look at the video. All right, now we're starting the New York forward KOM. You take this left. You can see the start line. It's the same one you crossed before, but this time you'll take a left up at that T and you'll go on the New York forward KOM. Let's take a look at this. I'll fast forward it and we'll talk about the expected climb times at the top. Here we are, finally coming to the top of the climb. You're going to go through this arch, and there's a pretty big flat after the arch, so make sure you keep your power up. This would be a really easy place to lose a group after putting all that effort in over the climb. Then you'll be able to get your super tuck in. So how fast are people going to be going over this forward KOM? I looked at some races. There isn't a ton of data like on some of the other courses. It just isn't raced a lot. So I had to extrapolate a little bit from some races that were a little bit less attended. For the Cat A men, probably between 3 and 310, 6.3 watts per kilogram. The Cat A women, 335 to 345 at 5.1 watts per kg. Cat B, 335 to 345, same as the Cat A women. There really wasn't a lot of data for Cat A women on this course, almost none at all. So it looked like from Richmond that the Cat A women were climbing about the same as the Cat B men, maybe a little bit faster. So the Cat A women is a bit more of a guess. The Cat C, 425 to 440, and Cat D, 630 to 715 at 2.7 watts per kilogram. So with about 6.5K to go, you're going to be coming up on this last sprint banner. Starting right here is a little bit of a downhill and a quick uphill. This is going to be a hard one, but one where you may be able to steal a couple points from somebody going past the baseball fields here. This will be interesting, too, to see who is conserving it for the end and who's trying to get a couple intermediate points. This could be a place where the field is actually whittled down such that everybody in that lead pack gets the points. Here we are on the run into the finish. You cross this bridge, a little bit of a left hand. It's a little bit of a blind finish, but you should be going all out right here. Not much to go, maybe a couple hundred yards. That arch is the finish banner. This is going to be a really tough course this week. Should be really fun, though. So here's the Everything Bagel expected total times for these courses. I know I've said it a couple times, but it was very difficult to figure out exactly how fast I thought this course would run because it's not raced very often and the fields are normally small. For the Cat A men, I'm thinking between 48:30 and 50 minutes at 4.4 watts per kilogram. For the Cat A women and the Cat B men, I'm thinking 51 to 53 minutes at 4 to 4.1 watts per kilogram. The Cat A women could be faster for sure. Looking at the Richmond times, it looked like the Cat A women and the Cat B men were around the same times, but it's very hard to tell on a course like this, and there just was hardly any women's data for me to pull on. It'd be 1 or 2 women in a race, which is not indicative of what's going to happen here with larger field. Cat C, probably 58 to 61 minutes, and Cat D, 71 to 75 minutes. These ranges are pretty big only because of the wide variety of competition as well as the lack of data. And without further ado, let's kick it over to the bike choices that Eric put together for us this week.
Hey Zwifters, this is Eric with Zwift Insider. Let's talk about bike choice for New York's Everything Bagel. This route is a little bit more challenging when it comes to bike choice because it's not a pure flat route and it's not a pure climb like Alpe Zwift or Mount Ventoux. This route is a mix. It's got about something like 12 or 13 minutes of decently steep climbing mixed into 55 minutes or so of an overall route. And those climbs are where the key selections are going to be made in your race. So the question is, do you pick a bike based on the overall route time, or do you pick it based on its performance on those key climbs? More and more Zwifters are choosing bikes that perform well in those key sections. And that's the strategy that I would recommend as well. So we ran some tests on those climbs to see how different bikes and wheel sets performed. And here's what I found. Easy recommendation is if you have the Tron bike, just go with it. It performs better than just about any setup on the climbs. The only bikes that do better than it really on the climbs would be the Tarmac Pro, like the very lightest frame, and the lightweight wheels. Those do just a little bit better. I mean, we're talking half a second up a 5-minute climb. Just a little bit better. The problem, though, with the lightweight wheels is they're so not aero that they're going to be about 40 seconds slower over the course of your whole race, and that's quite a bit. So I wouldn't go that extreme, although some Zwifters may choose to. If you want to have every advantage you can possibly have on those climbs, go with the lightest bike you possibly can, which would be something like the Specialized Tarmac Pro with the lightweight wheels. Me, I'm going to recommend the Tron bike due to its performance overall. It's got the fastest performance on the whole course and almost the fastest performance on those climbs. If you don't have the Tron bike yet, like if you're more of a beginner Zwifter, the Canyon Aeroad 2021 is a great choice. Pair it with the DT Swiss wheels, which are also really easy to get. That setup is actually really close to the Tron bike. It's only, let's see, what do we have? It's about 15 seconds slower over the whole lap. But in terms of the actual climb times, it almost matches the Tron bike. It's pretty much the same timing as the Tron bike on the climbs. So great option for beginners, but go with the Tron bike if you've got it. And man, it's going to be a tough race. Those 3 climbs, 3 sections are going to hurt. So good luck, everybody. See you out there. Thanks.
All right, Zwifters, that's our show previewing week 5 of the ZRL. This is one course I would actually highly suggest you going to ride yourself. You can always watch the full course ride that I put up, but kind of getting a feel for some of the super tucks, what's going on, how the course is going to ride, and different places you may want to attack is going to be especially important this week. If you like this video, please click like and subscribe below, and let me know in the comments what else you'd like to see. I'll see you next time, and good luck.